Alda.
They wouldn't stop.
You're not supposed to milk the applause. You're a legend.
Was that what I was doing?
No, not at all.
I was just airing out my hand.
Do you self-identify as a New York guy?
Well, I spent a lot of time in California while my father was incarcerated at Warner Brothers Studios. And I think I got a sort of a New York accent. I hear it sometimes. And I think I got it when I came back and went to school here in high school and college. But in California, I had a California accent. And when he was in burlesque, I had a burlesque accent.
Well, what is that? What's a burlesque accent?
I don't think you can say it on the radio.
Right. It's a lot of lascivious stuff.
It was an interesting beginning for you know what was the best thing about it was standing in the wings, watching the performers, because I was only a few feet away from them. I was only 2 or 3 years old until I was about 4 or something like that. And that's why did they laugh at that?
Some people are thinking about things from half an hour ago, and they're reacting to them now.
Oh, thank God. So I would watch the comics and the chorus girls and the strippers, you know, and I was only like 2 or 3. And
You remember that?
do I remember it?
Yeah.
You think you could forget that?
It's very young. It's young
I
memories.
mean, the chorus girls would take me up to the dressing room, and they'd sort of make me a mascot, you know. And they'd comb my hair, and they'd say, "Okay, Allie, turn your back now. We're going to change our clothes," you know. And I'd stand with my face against the wall, with my face in their silk costumes where they were hanging, and I could smell the perfume and the sweat on the costumes.
Oh.
And behind me, I could hear the rustle of their clothes coming off.
You remember this
Wait,
from
I'm
being
not
2.
finished yet. Okay, I'm over it now.
One of the reasons that I was going to ask you about the Bronx was that...
The Bronx, you're fixated on the Bronx.
I am, but I'll tell you why. I'll come around to you.
Okay.
Because the great novelist Don DeLeo...
I swear to God, I can't hear what you just said. I'm sorry.
The great novelist Don DeLeo.
Yes.
Out of the Bronx. And it said a character based on you makes a cameo in his epic novel Underworld. In real life, you were born Alfonso de Bruzio.
Yes.
And his character is named Alphonse, but wants people to call him Alan because he knows he needs to change his name to become a movie star.
What the hell is that?
Have you never heard this before?
No.
This is connection in Underworld. And
it's in the DeLillo book?
Yeah, and it said that that's
but
based
he's a
on...
novelist. He can make those things up.
Right.
I can tell you stories about him. He was born in Iceland.
Well, is it true that you knew you wanted to go into the entertainment business and that Alan would be a better name?
No, I didn't like the name Alan, especially spelled with 1 L. And my father said, well, you can't call yourself Allie Alda, because that was my name in the family, you know. And you can't call yourself Al, that's too informal. So why don't you call yourself Alan with 1 L? And I thought it was a little British. And I didn't like it much, but I thought he had named me the first time, so he could name me again if he wanted to. I actually felt that way.
And why was he intent on changing your name?
Why are you upset at that?
I'm not. I'm curious.
Well,
not upset at all.
No, well, he first tried to discourage me from going into show business. And then when it was clear that I really wanted to, he tried to help me. And the first thing he tried to do was change my name.
Right. Alan, I want to get to your current projects in science, but I want to stay on your acting career for a bit. You got your first a big break on the series MASH. Did you know, in hindsight, when you look back at MASH now, did you have any sense at the time of what a phenomenon this had been created?
No, I don't think any of us did. In fact, I remember I got the script for the pilot when I was in prison in Utah, at the Utah State Prison. I was making a movie there.
Right.
And I called my wife, Arlene, and I said, I got this great script. It's the best writing I've seen in a long time. But, of course, I can't do it because it has to be shot in California, and we lived in New Jersey. And I said, and, you know, you never know. This thing could run a whole year. And, you know, and of course, it ran 11 years. But she was very thoughtful, and she said, well, if it's that good, maybe we can figure something out with travel. And so I would fly back, but I wouldn't want to take our kids out of high school because they were just entering high school.
Yeah.
That's the time when they're moving out into their own world, and you don't want to drag them out of that. So I flew back every year. I always I was fly home just for 1 day or 2 days. Anytime I had 2 days off, I'd fly home. So I flew home 1 week 3 times in the same week. And as a result, for the whole season, I had a little bit of a buzz on from jet lag, you know.
You've had such a varied and wildly successful career in so many different areas. Does it bother you that people always associate you with MASH still?
No. I mean, it's an amazing thing. It happened a long time ago, you know. We just celebrated the anniversary of the end of the show, 30 years since the show ended, and about 42 years since it began.
Right.
So it happened so long ago, it seems like it happened to somebody else. But fortunately, he lets me live in his house.
You know what? One of the things I loved in this memoir was the vulnerability you show at times. And you say at one point, you take jobs when you're scared and have anxiety. Tell me about taking on something you don't know how to do and loving that more than something you do know how to do.
Yeah, I do like to do that. I started as an improviser, so that's part of it. And it's really fun to not know what's going to happen next. I really love uncertainty. I think that's one of the things I admire about scientists is that they value uncertainty so much. They don't shy from it. In fact, that leads to some great discoveries sometimes. And so when I'm asked to do a play or a movie, if the script looks like something that I've done before, it doesn't seem like I'll come up with something different. So that doesn't seem as interesting. And if it seems like I wonder if I'll really ever be able to do it well, that's even more interesting because then you're really alert then, and you hope for the best, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But the thrill of jumping off the cliff is greater.
And you still feel that way? After all that you've accomplished, you still feel like the question about whether you could do something in terms of a role or a part?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't feel that way if I just kept trying to do the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And that's not fun. And there's a lot less chance, if you've done it before or it's what you've seen, there's more of a chance that you'll do what you've seen somebody else do, or what you won't be as creative. And that's part of the ecstasy of doing this. Right?
When you say the ecstasy,
yeah, I know your audience may have a different understanding of the word ecstasy.
Well,
I mean, some of them look pretty happy right now.
You've talked about the ecstasy of acting in your book, and you've had this career post-MASH that would be the envy of most actors, working with Woody Allen, Martin Scorsese, Aaron Sorkin. You're 70 years old now. I talked to jazz musician Sonny Rollins a while back. He's a little older than you, and he said he's still learning.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like you're learning about your craft?
I am. I really try to put myself in the position to learn all the time. That was one of the great things about the science show I did for 11 years called Scientific American Frontiers. I wanted to be able to talk to the scientists and not just read a narration because I wanted to learn from them. And it's really been, that's been a great part of my education rather than what I learned in school in a more formal setting. It's very interesting. Very interesting to see people's brains work. You know, really smart people. It's thrilling. It's amazing to see that nature has produced so many brains that work so well like that.
Well, before I let you go, let me ask you about science, because you're currently working on a project where you ask scientists to describe what time is for an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
What are the best responses that you get from scientists?
You know, I haven't looked at the responses yet. What this is, I don't know if everybody knows what it is. It's about a year ago I started a contest for scientists to explain what a flame is. And the reason I did it is when I was 11 years old, I asked a teacher what a flame was because I was fascinated with this thing at the end of the candle. And it's not like anything else in our experience. And I said to her, what is a flame? What's going on in there? And she said, it's oxidation. And that was it, you know. Not another word. And I was a little disappointed because that's like saying, it's just calling it by another name, you know. Well, that's Fred. Okay.
Right.
So I was writing a piece about science communication, and I remembered this story. So I told the story, and then I said, let's have a contest. And I invited scientists to explain what a flame is so that an 11-year-old could understand it. Right. And real 11-year-olds would judge the contest. And boy, did they love that. They really, to have the power to say to the scientists, you know, that's very good, but it's not really good enough.
So let me ask you the question.
This year it's a second year, and the question is, what is time?
And how would you answer that question? What is time to Alan Alda?
Oh, I wouldn't begin to answer that. Fortunately, the contest is only open to scientists. But it's interesting. It's a very hard question. This question came from 11-year-olds themselves. And we got responses from all over the world, and 20,000 kids from around the world are judging this. And we're going to announce the winner at the World Science Festival in New York in June. Do you know about this center I started at Stony Brook University? I helped start it. Called the Center for Communicating Science.
Sure, go ahead.
It's just so exciting to me because we're teaching scientists during their science education to communicate better with more clarity and more vividness so that they can talk to the public and the public will understand them. They can talk to senators and congressmen and they'll understand them. This will be a first, you know. Not that the senators and congressmen aren't smart enough to understand, but just talking two different languages. And it's wonderful the response we're getting. We're overbooked. We can't keep up with the demand of the young scientists who want to learn this. So I'm very excited about it.
Alan, I have to thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun with you.
What a pleasure. Thank you. Emmy, Golden Globe winning actor, the great Alan Alda, everybody.